This is WBNS-TV, 10 TV, Columbus.
WBNS-TV, Channel 10, Columbus, Ohio. This is Eyewitness News with Lee Felicities and the sports, Joe Holbrook and the weather, and Lou Forrest with the news.
WBNS-10 TV, Columbus, Ohio.
Stand by, 15 seconds to Eyewitness News. Here we go, 15 seconds. Camera 3, cover. Camera 1, tight. Tighten in. We'll be coming out on mix 2, mic 8Q talent. Stand by. Ready, mix 2, 8Q. Take open Q.
Good evening, everyone. In the news tonight.
Good morning. I'm Carol Looper.
And I'm Bob Crossley. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
From WBNS-10 TV Columbus, this is the 6 o'clock edition of Eyewitness News. With Lou Forrest at the anchor desk, Bob Orr in the Eyewitness Newsroom, Joe Holbrook with computer satellite weather, and Gary Radnich on sports. This is the 6 o'clock edition of Eyewitness News.
Good evening, everyone.
From WBNS-10 TV Columbus, this is the 7 o'clock edition of Eyewitness News.
From WBNS-10 TV, Columbus, this is Eyewitness News. With Lou Forrest at the anchor desk, Bob Orr in the Eyewitness Newsroom, Joe Holbrook with computer satellite weather, and Gary Radnich on sports. This is Eyewitness News.
Good evening, everyone. Here's what's making news tonight.
From WBNS-10 TV, Columbus, this is Eyewitness News. With Dave Kaler at the anchor desk, Bob Orr in the Eyewitness Newsroom, Joe Holbrook with computer satellite weather, and Gary Radnich on sports. This is Eyewitness News.
And good evening, everyone. Here's what's happening tonight at 7.
From WBNS-10 TV Columbus, this is Eyewitness News.
Good evening, everyone.
From WBNS-10 TV in Columbus, Lou Forrest, Teresa Lucanis, Joe Holbrook, and Barry Katz. This is 10 TV Eyewitness News.
Iran is caught red-handed. Here's the proof. Vintage World War II mines sitting on the deck of an Iranian cargo ship in the Persian Gulf. Good evening, everyone.
BNS-10 TV Columbus, Chuck Rogers, Jane Rogers, Mike Davis, and Mike Gleason. This is 10 TV Eyewitness News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
From WBNS-10 TV Columbus, Dave Kaler, Jane Rogers, and Mike Davis. This is the noon edition of 10 TV Eyewitness News.
From WBNS-10 TV Columbus, Dave Kaler, Jane Rogers, and Janet Watkins. This is the noon edition of 10 TV Eyewitness News. From WBNS-10 TV Columbus, Bob Orr, Dana Tyler, Bob Grossi, and Barry Katz. This is the 11 o'clock edition of 10 TV Eyewitness News.
Good evening. It's a story of murder for hire, and a young woman fears it will lead police back to her door.
This is WBNS-TV Columbus.
And now, on your 24-hour news source, as American troops return to Kuwait, President Bush has another ultimatum for Saddam. We'll see why thousands of boat lovers look to Bucyrus, and the astronauts get out their toys for a little fun in space.
Live from WBNS-TV in Columbus, this is 10 TV Eyewitness News, your 24-hour news source.
Good evening, everybody.
Around-the-clock news coverage continues from 10 TV Eyewitness News, your 24-hour news source.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Michelle Hopkins. We have breaking news at this hour.
You're watching WBNS-10 TV Columbus. Live from WBNS-TV, your 24-hour news source, with Dave Kaler, Andrea Camberg, and meteorologist Mike Davis. This is 10 TV Eyewitness News. Thinking about heading east from Port Columbus?
WBNS-TV, your 24-hour news source, with Angela Pace, Dave Kaler, meteorologist Mike Davis, and Mike Gleason. This is 10 TV Eyewitness News. From WBNS-TV, your 24-hour news source, with Michelle Hopkins, Janet Watkins, and Jay Crawford. This is 10 TV Eyewitness News.
Many worried the Piano Man wouldn't be able to hit a key, but Billy Joel salutes the packed Ohio Stadium while the Rocket Man, dressed in red, jumps to his feet to kick off their Heart and Soul concert.
From WBNS-TV, this is 10 TV Eyewitness News.
An important find in the Everglades. Proof oxygen canisters exploded aboard ValueJet Flight 592. And 10 TV takes you to Florida live for the very latest.
Good evening, I'm Kurt Ludlow. The focus of the ValueJet crash is on the oxygen canisters.
Around-the-clock coverage continues from 10 TV Eyewitness News, your 24-hour news source.
From Central Ohio's #1 source for news, this is 10 TV Eyewitness News.
A judge leaves his bench to go to a condemned building.
You're watching 10 TV Eyewitness News with Dave Kaler, Andrea Camber, and Chief Meteorologist Mike Davis. This is WBNS-TV, your #1 source for news. You're watching 10 TV Eyewitness News with Angela Pace and Dave Kaler, Chief Meteorologist Mike Davis, and Mike Gleason Sports. This is WBNS-TV, your #1 source for news.
At this 5 o'clock hour, breaking news. Good
This is 10 TV Eyewitness News, your 24-hour news source.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dave Malkoff.
WBNS-10 TV, your 24-hour news source. This is 10 TV Eyewitness News. From WBNS-10 TV, your 24-hour news source. This is 10 TV Eyewitness News.
Well, this is John Glenn's big day.
We're all feeling pretty good about it, though, aren't we?
We are.
From WBNS-10 TV, your 24-hour news source. This is 10 TV Eyewitness News.
It's a highly contagious disease.
From WBNS-10 TV, your 24-hour news source. This is 10 TV Eyewitness News.
Very pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Kaler.
And I'm Angela Pace.
From WBNS-10 TV, Central Ohio's most watched news station, this is 10 TV Eyewitness News.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us tonight at 5.
From WBNS-10 TV, Central Ohio's most watched news station, this is 10 TV Eyewitness News.
And this is it, the 42-page decision from the Florida Supreme Court.
You're watching 10 TV Eyewitness News with Chuck Strickler, Lisa Kick, and meteorologist Chris Shumway. This is WBNS-10 TV, your 24-hour news source. You're watching 10 TV Eyewitness News with Jerry Revish, Andrea Camberg, and meteorologist Chris Shumway. This is WBNS-10 TV, your 24-hour news source. You're watching 10 TV Eyewitness News
with Dave Kaler and Angela Pace, Chief Meteorologist Mike Davis, and Jeff Hogan Sports. This is 10 TV Eyewitness News, your 24-hour news source. From 10 TV Eyewitness News and the Ohio News Network, this is Election 98, Voice of the Voter.
And a very pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Kaler.
And I'm Angela Pace. In just a few days, you will get a chance to exercise a right that makes this country great.
From 10 TV Eyewitness News, this is an Election 2000 update.
From WBNS 10 TV, Central Ohio's most watched news station, this is 10 TV Eyewitness News.
Another week, back to class. Good morning, I'm Chuck Strickler.
And I'm Heather Pick. That's
Panic at a Columbus concert.
Standing there next to the speakers, and he was shooting, pointing out to the crowd.
5 people dead when a gunman opens fire inside a nightclub.
From WBNS 10 TV, Central Ohio's most watched news station, this is 10 TV Eyewitness News.
New details on the shooting that left 5 dead.
New developments on the Nightbeat. Tonight, children missing for nearly a week are found, but their mother is still on the run, and the sheriff's office is taking the heat.
Probably made some decisions that they shouldn't have.
In fire-ravaged California, wildfires feed on ferocious winds and wipe out entire neighborhoods.
I feel sick. There's more we can do.
Tonight, neighbors gather to fight big business moving into town.
It just would wreck the charm of Powell.
And new money tonight for a struggling stretch of strip malls. Is $1 million enough to bring you back? And tonight, the voice of The Price is Right is silenced. 10 TV Nightbeat starts now. Now, from WBNS 10 TV, Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV Nightbeat.
Good evening, I'm Dave Kaler.
And I'm Angela Pace. Our live Nightbeat coverage takes us across Ohio tonight.
Next at 5 on 10 TV Eyewitness News.
A bold robber striking stores where families shop. Starts right now.
Ohio's news leader. This is WBNS 10 TV Eyewitness News.
And police have a warning for you tonight. Be careful the next time you go shopping.
You're watching 10 TV Eyewitness News with Andrea Camberg, John Fortney, and live Doppler 10 Chief Meteorologist Chris Bradley. 10 TV Eyewitness News will continue. Next at 6 on 10 TV Eyewitness News.
You wish dinner a plea, is that correct?
Yes, I do. A plea of no contest.
8 words, an infamous legacy tonight. Team coverage of Governor Taft's sentence for not reporting gifts. We have the reaction and the possible fallout. 10 TV Eyewitness News at 6 starts right now.
From Central Ohio's news leader, this is WBNS 10 TV Eyewitness News.
I want to publicly apologize today to this court and to the people of Ohio.
You're watching 10 TV Eyewitness News with Dave Kaler, Angela Pace, Doppler 10 Chief Meteorologist Mike Davis, and Jeff Hogan with sports. 10 TV Eyewitness News will continue. From Central Ohio's news leader, presented in high definition, this is 10 TV News HD.
And we begin your Saturday morning with a look at our Skyview camera. Live pictures looking at downtown Columbus, starting off not too bad for your Saturday morning. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Angela Ann.
And I'm live Doppler 10 meteorologist Carlos Gonzalez.
Now at noon on 10 TV News HD.
A bit of a rainy Labor Day so far.
From Central Ohio's news leader, presented in high definition, this is 10 TV News HD.
Wow, there's a lot of green on Doppler 10 radar this Labor Day, threatening holiday cookouts everywhere.
Now at 6 on 10 TV News HD.
New information tonight in the death of this young man hit and killed by a police cruiser.
From Central Ohio's news leader, presented in high definition, this is 10 TV News HD.
We have some new information tonight in the death of this man run over by a police cruiser.
From Central Ohio's news leader, new, fresh, up to the minute, and tomorrow's weather before the first commercial. This is 10 TV News HD at 11.
A rash of break-ins, and victims say they are being hit over and over.
Breaking news in West Columbus, where 4 children saw a person get shot during a home invasion. More breaking news as arson investigators move in on a 4th suspect in the firebombing of a 71-year-old rape victim's home. Plus, what the alleged mastermind said to 10 TV on her way to jail, and how trying to steal some copper had fatal results for an alleged thief. We begin 10 TV News HD at 11 with breaking news. Police remain on the scene of a home invasion and shooting in West Columbus.
From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News this morning. You're watching 10 TV News at noon with Tracy Townsend and meteorologist Mike Davis with live Doppler 10 radar. From Central Ohio's news leader, new, fresh, up to the minute. You're watching 10 TV News at 5.
A one-time Buckeye football star found under arrest, accused of firing shots and pistol whipping a driver.
From Central Ohio's news leader, new, fresh, up to the minute. You're watching 10 TV News at 5:30.
Dozens of dogs found in what's being called deplorable condition.
From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News at 6. You're watching 10 TV News with Jerry Revish, Kristen Hartman, and Chris Bradley with live Doppler 10 radar.
Making news right now.
From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News.
10 TV News at 11 begins with breaking news out of East Columbus. Police say a cyclist has been hit by a car. It happened just moments ago on East Livingston Avenue at Hamilton Road.
A weather alert tonight has attracted more thunderstorms and flash flood warnings. I'll track the overnight risks in your hour-by-hour forecast.
Police say this woman lies about a horrendous crime to stay out of jail. Why they say it's wasting your tax dollars and their time.
Well, he built a clothing empire and it crumbled in the midst of fraud and murder. After nearly 20 years in prison, the former Just Sweat CEO opens up about the past.
This is a Doppler 10 weather alert.
From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News this morning.
How about this live look from our Skyview camera right now?
What I did was natural because this is what, any man would do in that situation.
More stories of survival out of Dayton. A man shields his girlfriend with his own body from a hail of gunfire.
Anybody you love or care about in any type of way, they're going to do the same thing.
Do I think that we're going to see another mass shooting tomorrow or Friday? Probably, because Washington will not move.
When I said to him how important it was, if he cares about mental health, the important thing is not to repeal the Affordable Care Act and not to cut Medicaid.
I had it with Sherrod Brown. He and the mayor, Dan Wally, they're very dishonest people.
The man wanted for sex assaults in areas near the Ohio State University has been arrested.
As police officers, we are always trying very hard to seek out these violent criminals so that we can get them off the streets so we have a safer place to live. We are so incredibly grateful.
And when you're more than ready for Ohio State football to begin. Home run for Justin Fields there, right? Wow. Buckeyes are getting ready for football.
No doubt about it, getting you pumped up like that.
From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News at noon.
Negotiations have wrapped. Teachers in the biggest school district in the state.
From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News at 5. From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News at 6.
And now at 6, a big return to winter for Central Ohio.
From Central Ohio, this is 10 TV News at 11.
I formally declare Donald J. Trump and Michael R. Pence the Republican nominees for President and Vice President of these United States.
From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News.
The decisions have been made, and the Buckeyes did not make it to the college football playoffs this year.
From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News.
Pastors caught in the crossfire when an armed robber gets into a shootout with deputies at an IHOP. A deputy was shot in the process, too. Thank you for joining us tonight for 10 TV News at 11. I'm Scott Light.
We have to do everything that we can to slow down the spread of this virus.
Taking action against the coronavirus. Ohio shuts down, keeping the public away from large gatherings and students out of the classroom.
We are announcing today that children of the state will have an extended spring break.
I'm not fearful for my kids. I'm fearful for the community.
Disneyland and Disney World are shutting down.
If Disney's closing, you know it's bad.
Virtually all pro and college sports are taking a timeout.
This is not a basketball issue. It's not an NBA issue. It's not a March Madness issue. This is the United States. This is a global issue.
It goes away. It's going away. We want it to go away with very, very few deaths.
We will get back to normal in Ohio. It's not going to be done overnight, but we will.
Certainly a lot of changes this week and more to come.
Good morning, everyone. It is 4:28 here on 10 this morning. Thanks so much for joining us on this Friday.
On the front end of a pandemic, you look a little bit like an alarmist.
This will not last forever. This is temporary. Everything we're doing is temporary.
That's a friendly reminder from Governor Mike DeWine that fighting the coronavirus might not be easy, but it will not last.
And it's the story that just continues to change.
These confirmed numbers are only a small fraction of the individuals who are infected already. This is a crisis, and we have to get the job done. We all have to have the attitude, this is a crisis, and we have to get the job done.
And to get the job done, Governor DeWine says he means business with all this. Major events, sports, schools, pretty much everything closed or at least postponed to try and contain the spread of the coronavirus. And Ohio is also under a state of emergency. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Light. Welcome to Face the State on this Sunday.
Time now 7:26 on this Thursday. Good morning, everyone. I'm Clay Gordon. A woman is fighting for her life right now after being struck by a car.
At least for me, it's been like all I've been thinking about today.
Right now at 6, a mother. Now at noon, a mother in the hospital after someone hopped in her car and began driving away with her son still asleep inside of the car. Ahead, what police are now saying about the search for the suspect. And efforts to curb a continued problem on Columbus streets. Ahead, how you can weigh in on City Council's new approach to cracking down on stunt driving.
I'm tracking a potential heat wave early next week, but before that, we have a beautiful weekend. 10 TV News at noon begins right now.
And we begin 10 TV News at noon following developing news. A woman.
Now we lost a sister and a mother and a daughter, so it's hard.
Now at 4, mourning the loss of a mother who died trying to save her son. The family of Alexa Stakely talks this afternoon about the woman who had so much life to live.
Plus, 10 investigates is getting answers as questions surround an 8-year-old boy's death. What his family is sharing about how they tried to step in.
And business concerns in Gahanna. Why one owner says a new construction project might be the reason he's forced to close. 10 TV News at 4 starts right now.
Always wanted to help people, always just driven that way.
In just 2 hours.
Her parent instincts kicked in to save her child.
Now at 5, a tragic update in a Columbus carjacking. A mother dead after trying to save her 6-year-old son sleeping inside the car.
Plus, the family of an 8-year-old found dead in his mother's attic, searching for answers tonight after child abuse claims are revealed in court. 10 TV's Tara Jabor takes those concerns to Children's Services to ask, what happened?
And later, a big renovation project right in the heart of Franklinton. How Columbus is bringing public safety and neighbors together. 10 TV News at 5 starts now.
Now at 5, Columbus police confirm a mother is dead after trying to save her 6-year-old son who was sleeping inside.
Now at 5:30, a busy week for President Joe Biden, hosting a summit of world leaders and trying to convince nervous Democrats that he is up for the challenge of running for re-election. Thanks for joining us at 5:30. I'm Yolanda Harris. Angela's off tonight.
And I'm Andrew Kim.
That was a heroic decision. I would have jumped on the hood of the car too.
But a decision that cost her her life. How a mom jumped into action to save her son from a carjacking.
Plus, new details about an 8-year-old boy murdered. Why Children's Services was aware of his family from the time he was a newborn.
And after a very nice Thursday, heat, humidity, and storm chances increase next week. Coming up in your 10 weather impact forecast, we'll talk about a 10 TV weather impact day on Monday, and I'll walk you through the forecast over the weekend. 10 TV News at 6 starts right now.
Now at 6, a mother is dead after trying to save her son from someone stealing her car. Police say 29-year-old Alexa Stakely's 6-year-old son was fast asleep inside the vehicle as someone...
A mother left dead after jumping into action to save her child. Next at 11, the latest on the case as the community now mourns.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president.
President Biden stumbles at the start of a nearly 1-hour news conference, but he made one thing clear: he is not stepping down.
A young mother died trying to save her son during a carjacking overnight. Tonight, we look at who she was and how you can help police solve the case.
Tonight, we've issued a 10 TV weather impact day for next Monday due to the heat. We're talking about feels like temperatures near 100 degrees.
A new playground for kids staying at the YWCA. Find out what more than $2 million ended up paying for. 10 TV News at 11 starts right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
All right, two big slip-ups in the same day for President Joe Biden on a day Democrats were paying close attention. But would the rest of his one-hour news conference performance be enough to quell their concerns? Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Yolanda Harris.
And I'm Andrew Kinsey. Skylar Henry reports on the news conference that wrapped up this week's NATO summit in Washington, D.C.
President Biden held his first news conference since last month.
At 6 a.m., we start with some breaking.
You're watching WBNS-10 TV Columbus, Ohio, your 24-hour news source.